Halloween is just around the corner, and what better way to celebrate than with some awesome print-on-demand spooky Halloween items like shirts and mugs and things like that. And so today in Kittl, I'm going to show you how to make some Halloween graphics, and then I'm going to actually take you in Redbubble and see how you can apply this same graphic to a couple of different items and maybe other cool tips and tricks along the way. So be sure to watch all the way to the end of the video. And hey, if you don't have Kittl yet, go ahead and sign up for free using the link down in the description. Kittl works right in the browser. You don't need to download anything on your computer, and I know you're gonna love it. Also, be sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any upcoming tutorials and things like this where we talk about print on demand, which is a big thing for Kittl, and I don't want you to miss it. So enough talking, let's get into Kittl right now. Alright, to get started with our Halloween design, we are going to change the size of this, and we want something pretty massive because we want to keep POD in mind. So I'm going to go 6,000 by 4,500 again for the vertical size here, and that's going to give us plenty of room to work with, and it's going to meet all of the requirements for most POD sites. Again, we're going to be looking at Redbubble. So for this Halloween graphic, I would recommend going to this Halloween section. By the way, we have so many awesome vector Halloween illustrations. You can change the colors and size and things like that. So I'm going to look for a couple that I like while we build out a design. I'm going to go for a cute design. I like this cat here, so I have added that already. And so let's add a couple more things like these little ghosties here. I like these little kind of more cute, spooky ghosts. We're going to go for like a trick-or-treat style graphic that is going to work on a couple of different things. So I'm going to move these over to the side. By the way, if you hit W, you turn off the trim view and you can see the rest of your board here. I want the cat to be sizable because this is kind of the main section. This is the main feature, and then I'm just going to format these other little ghosts around the cat because again we're just kind of filling in space here. I'm going to go back to the elements. We're going to look for some other things to kind of fill in this space, again in the same kind of style. Using the same illustration style is going to help. So if I type in a pumpkin, I want to find a pumpkin that's going to be in that kind of same style. We're only using kind of one prominent color, almost like a silhouette with just kind of a highlight color that fills in like the eyes of the cat. I like this pumpkin right here. I think that's going to fit pretty well, and then we want the orange to be the same, and then we want the color to be the same as well as the cat here. So we want all of these. We want all these colors to match, and I can show you a really cool way to fix all of those later, really quickly. And so let's do the same thing for the ghosts here. Let's get them all the same color here, that same kind of dark purple as well as the orange here. So let's look for some bats, and we're going to fill those in just around the design here. Again, we're kind of filling space nicely. We have a whole shape here that we're creating. Again, we're making a vertical layout, so this is going to be really great for things like t-shirts and stuff like that. So once we feel good with that, we can add some text. And again, I said earlier, our text is going to be trick or treat. So quick key is if you hit T, it'll add text easily, or you can do it over there on the left. Now let's go to this other category over here on the right of the fonts, and we can find kind of a creepy looking font. We actually have one called Creepster, but I like this one right here. I think it's quirky, but it's also cute and fun, but also kind of a little spooky looking, and I think it works. I like it a lot. And so what I'm going to do is hit justify, and you'll see why I do that in a second. By the way, when you move it, it kind of scales together evenly here. And so then I want to change this to that same purple because I want things to be the same. So then if I duplicate it, you can hold the Alt or Option key and drag like I did right there. And now I have the justify on right here. So if I click in and change this to treat, then when I click out, boom, it's the same size. Isn't that cool? So it's a neat little trick for you. If you didn't already know, that's kind of what justify will do. So then I'm going to add some shadow here. I want it to be the same orange. I'm kind of using that purple and that orange all throughout. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this little kind of small blocky banner. I'm making my own kind of little banner by putting shapes together here and grouping them with just Command or Control G. And then I'm going to change the color, and I'm going to put or in there because then, boom, I can place that right here in the middle. Give it a little turn, and then, boom, there's Trick or Treat. And now what I'm going to do is add some stars. And if you add the border weight, it'll make them round because, again, we want this all to match. These stars, when you put them in, they're kind of pointy. So then when we add the border weight here, like I'm doing, you can see that it's making it round, which is what we want. We want this whole kind of rounded illustration style to be cohesive and the same. So now what we can do is we could go through this and we can change the background to see what it might look like on a different color shirt or something like that. And we could choose through a variety of different things, which I can show you how to do in Redbubble when we jump in there. But you could go through all of these and do that if you wish. But what we're going to actually do here is click on the background. go to background color and take this off. So if you hit that little dash right there, it's going to take it off because we want to export it without any background. So then in the export settings, that is what we're going to be doing after we size this up. So let's size this up just a little bit. I would recommend making it fill almost the entire space, because for print-on-demand sites, you know, like Redbubble, Merch by Amazon, wherever, having the biggest size is going to help you a lot. You can always make it smaller, but you can't make it bigger. So keep that in mind. We have a really nice size right here. So when I go to download, I already have 4500 by 6000, so you might be wondering why I'm not adjusting the DPI. Well, that's because this size is already massive. There's no point in making it a higher DPI when I already know the DPI is correct for the requirements that Redbubble needs, and I'll link a page to Redbubble that shows you the exact ratio that they need. But for this, PNG is going to be totally fine. It's completely transparent. Okay, so here we are in Redbubble, and I'm going to upload the artwork that you just saw. So I'm going to click on Upload New Work. And in here, I'm going to click on my notebook size, the long size that we just made right here, which you can see the size. And so I'm going to open this inside Redbubble, and then it's going to show it to me over here on the left. And I can also do things like title, tags, and description. Now, this is obviously just for your viewership. Of course, you can go and do this yourself. So I'm just going to type in something really trivial for the moment, because this is a completely different section of Redbubble that you want to make sure you fill out, like your tags. You want to give a nice little description and things about it. You can also change the way that the background colors looks on this specifically, but we're going to leave most of this just empty for now. Of course, it's very important to do that. And so boom, already I can preview what it's going to look like on some of these products. So I've got the standard print clothing here. I've got the large print clothing. I can even see what it's going to look like on a hat, and then I have the ability to edit or enable this. Now I could edit and make this one really small, but remember, we're going to make some other sizes for this design. So I'm just going to hit disable, and so we don't want that. I could go in here and resize some of these, but I can just disable that. For example, some of these, I think we could try to get them to work, but they're already disabled. I could enable them if I want to, but I also want to just look through a couple of these things to make sure they work correctly. So stickers and magnets, that looks pretty good already. I could go and edit some sizes if I want to, but it looks like the cut is going to do a pretty good job here. For phone cases, I think this might be a cool one. So if I go and edit down here, I can just scale this image back to see, you can see these arrows right here. So I want to make sure that it's going to be in there, and I want to make sure everything is centered correctly, vertically and horizontally. You can see when I click that, it made a difference. I can also choose a different background color to see what it would look like, but I'm thinking maybe white is just fine for this one. So then if I hit apply changes, now you can see that it's slightly better, but it's still not there. So we got to edit it a little bit more. It's still not quite there. So let's just keep scaling this down. Center it again, make sure that it's there, good to go. Let's hit apply changes, see if that fixed anything. And it's looking like this one might not really work for a phone case. It's going to be tough. Sometimes you don't have super editability here in you know, certain items in Redbubble. You know, I could keep going down. I could keep making it really small and making sure it's centered to apply it, and keep looking back to see if it's better. And so that looks like it's better, but then it doesn't really fill the whole space. So I think we might just disable this one. Things like desk mats, it's not going to work. Things like mouse pads, of course, we could get it to work, but we're going to make a couple different options. So let's just disable some of these, because we really want only the things that make the most sense, like a print. You could even do stuff like shower curtains. You could do blankets. You could do all this kind of stuff. I think for mugs, it's also not going to work. You know, scarf, okay, that could look kind of cool. Tablet skins, again, we don't have the exact right one, but notebooks I think would be cool. Hardcover, this isn't quite right for this one, so let's disable this one. This one's looking pretty good, but we do need to go in here and edit this one a little bit. Let's change the dimensions here, make sure everything is centered, good to go, and then boom, that one looks like it's a lot better there. clocks we're going to disable. So there's so many things that you could go through here and figure out to see what you want and what you don't want. That actually looks pretty cool on a tote bag, but again, we're going to do a square version of this later. So let's go through and do a little bit more disabling, and then we could have the potential to even add more items, but I think we're good for now. Let's disable most of these. And so that is how you can go through. If I click save work, of course it's going to go and it's going to list it on my page, which I'm not going to do because this is mainly for your viewership, but I just wanted to show you how that might work for the vertical one and how you might go through and change it in Redbubble. Hey, real quick, if you're enjoying this Halloween graphic tutorial, let me know by hitting the thumbs up button and that red subscribe button if you haven't already. And then let me know in the comments, what is your favorite part of Halloween? Is it dressing up? Because that's my favorite part. I love dressing up like characters. Maybe it's a party, a Halloween party you go to every year, or maybe it's just eating candy or watching a scary movie. Whatever it is, I'm super interested. Let's see what the top rated Halloween action item is. So go ahead and comment below, and then let's get back to the tutorial. Alright, now we're back in Kittl, and let's duplicate this project. So if we go over here to the settings and then we can hit duplicate, we will create a duplicate project, obviously, and then it'll retain the regular one. It won't mess it up, but now we can go in here and make something that's adjustable. So I want to make this square size for different things like pillows and stuff in Redbubble. So let's make this the same size. 4500 by 4500 is pretty massive. Again, you shouldn't have any issues at all. So we're just going to scale this up like this, make sure that fits the whole space. And once we go to export it, we can even make it bigger if we want to. It'll be fine like this, but we can make it 6000 by 6000 and go PNG, and that'll be perfect for Redbubble. I can go over here in this same listing, or you could add a new one, of course, because if you're probably wanting to add multiple, that's totally fine too. I'm just going to replace this one for the time being, that the process is the same. Now I can choose my square size here. You can see trick or treat POD. Boom, let's open that, and now it's going to reload this as a square size, and then we can start formatting this for square size products, because like we saw with the vertical ones, it might be a little bit tough to convert those to some things that work on square. So I'm going to go ahead and disable some of these shirts. I still think for the bucket hat, it's not quite going to work, so we're going to disable that. We could try to get them to work with some of these graphic tees. Maybe this one, I can come in here. You can see how the print is all the way around like this. If I did size this down, it could work, and I could size it like maybe right here on the stomach or something and hit apply, and let's see how that works. And that's kind of okay, not really. So I don't think that this one's gonna work for graphic t-shirts. So let's turn that one off, because we already had our vertical one that we could have played with if we wanted to. Stickers and magnets, I kind of think that's looking pretty cool. I don't think that this one's also gonna work for phone cases. Again, if you're gonna do stuff like that, really cater your design to kind of make sense. In that one, with mouse pads, I think we could probably edit this to get it to the right size. Let's center, let's make sure everything is good together. We could even change our background color if we want. We'll apply the changes, look up, and that's pretty cool. I think that'll work as a mouse pad. Maybe it's a little too close down here, but look, it looks really cool for things like pillows and tote bags. I think this would look really, really cool. So let's just scale it down ever so slightly, because I want to make sure that it's just in the middle there on the pillowcase. And so boom, I think that looks really cool. Even if it bends around to the left a little bit and the right, I think that's looking cool. That would look a really cool Halloween pillow style. For prints, we kind of wanted to use that vertical one. Laptop skins and things like that. Again, guys, I hope you see it's pretty easy to go in here and edit. I don't think this one's gonna work. You can see the grid lines here, so I mean, I could apply it, but I think we're just gonna turn that one off. Shower curtain, it could work. Yeah, it could work. We could just leave it like that. You never know. You never know who might want a Halloween shower curtain. And this one might be cool for things like mugs. Maybe we want to scale it down just a little bit to see what it's going to look like there on that mug. And maybe we do, let's see, we could change the color to something else if we want to. but I think this one's looking pretty cool. I think this is fine like this. I could also repeat that pattern, and I could also just change the way that it's repeated here, but let's go with none. It kind of does look cool with a repeated pattern, but let's go with none. Let's apply the changes and see what happens. And so it's basically going to be like here on the sides of the mug, and that's kind of cool. I think this actually looks cool as a travel mug. It's kind of big, it's kind of going off the cup a little bit. So hopefully you're seeing like what you could do with some of these, what kind of products to enable and what to disable in terms of Redbubble. And you can go through, I could go through and edit this tote bag right here to make sure that it makes sense. They're kind of centered in the middle of the design to see what that looks like, and I think that's looking pretty cool. That would look like really nice on a tote bag. So you could go through and play this in Redbubble. You have a lot of editability, as you can kind of see that I'm going through here. But let's jump back in Kittl and let's make one more version of our Halloween graphic. All right, so let's make some sticker designs. I'm gonna get rid of these ghosts and bats and stars and things like that, because trying to make like a vinyl cut or a die cut sticker like that's just not gonna work with too many elements all over the screen. So we need to get rid of this ghost up here. So boom, let's delete that real quick. And now what we can do is make a cool sticker design out of this cat and pumpkin, which I think is really cute. And so what we're going to do is actually add border weight to this. So if I select the cat here and I go over here in the right panel to the border weight, I can extend it up like this all the way. I can do 100, anywhere from 0 to 100, and then I can make that white. And so boom, it's already kind of looking like a sticker, which is really, really cool. So then I can do the same thing with the pumpkin. I can format it the same thing as well. So if I go to the border weight here, then I can increase the border weight to white and make it white like that. And then what I'm going to do is duplicate this pumpkin. So what I'm going to do is hit Command or Control C. So I've copied it, and then what I'm going to do is right click and I'm going to send it to back. Now I can hit Command or Control V, and boom, now I've placed it on front, and I can get rid of the outline in the front, and look at that, it's really cool. So now it looks like it's completely one shape. Now you can see that the whole outline kind of looks like everything fits together, so that pumpkin is actually like part of the cat. I can just rearrange it right here to where it makes sense like that. So that's a neat little trick you can do, is just have the same thing in the back and the front, and then you can use the back of the you can use the outline in the back to make it look like it's attached. And now what I'm doing is just making this little block right here, and I'm going to send it to the back because I need some little spaces like in between the tail there to be completely full so that this sticker picks up pretty well. So then I can do the same thing right here. I can make this rectangle the right size right here, boom, turn that to white, and then send that to the back. And so now all of these little spaces are filled in really nicely, so that way the sticker is going to come out super clean and attach on things really easily. Alright, so now that we've made that final sticker graphic, which we adapted from the original design, we can go ahead and switch that here. So I'll click replace, and here I'll go to stickers. I've got one that's just text, but I'll show you how this one turns out right here. So let me click open right here. You're going to see it load in just like that. Of course, keep in mind at this point I've replaced this same listing 3 times, but of course you'd probably want to have several listings, all with a different unique title, all with different tags like Halloween, pumpkin, cats, you know, Halloween, whatever, and you'll want to have a little description about it. And so now we can see here how this is going to look like on different things. And remember, this has a white border around it, right? It's a sticker design that we made. Now, these kind of look cool as a shirt, actually, so I might just leave that as a shirt. For a bucket hat, I think maybe something like text would be better, so we'll take that off. Some of these actually look kind of cool, so we could enable maybe these 2 things. And then, of course, what we're looking at really specifically is the stickers and the magnet, so you can see already how cool that looks with the white around it. Now, if I go in and edit it, there's not much you can really do. You can basically replace the image, but everything's pretty much already set for you. You could drag it around if it was too big or something like that. But you can also come in here and see what kind of sticker ability you would want. You could turn them off for whatever reason if you didn't want it as a magnet, or if you wanted a glossy sticker or something like that. Typically it's fine to just leave them all on. Even stuff like a pillow, I think this style of design could look cool. Just be careful because it does have that white border around it. So for most of these we would probably just want to disable unless you wanted to see it on, you know, on something else like a, you know, a laptop sleeve that's maybe it's dark. Maybe we turn the background to dark, for example, so we could turn this towards the black. And so once we do that, you can see how some of the items turn black and it has the white outline, which could look cool. Again, this is kind of up to you. It kind of looks cool on this apron, or no, sorry, this is a dress. That looks kind of cool. Could also look cool on a pillow if we go in here and maybe size it down just a little bit like that, and maybe see what it looks like now on a pillow. Yeah, you might want to size it down a little bit more, but it could look cool like on blankets or something like that, on a coffee cup that's black, even on a journal maybe. Just keep in mind you want to have these kind of 3 different dimensions here that we've gone through. We've kind of made a vertical version, we've made a square version, and now we have this sticker version. These are all kind of ways that you can take one design that we made in Kittl and adapt them to different products in Redbubble, but it also doesn't have to be just Redbubble. It could be other shops like Printful, which you could list on your own store, or Society6, or something like a Teespring or something like that. So I hope this has been helpful for you. And so here are some of the completed print-on-demand products that we made with this design. You can see here like a mug and a sticker and a shirt and things like that. So again, I hope this was super helpful, and I can't wait to see what you do with these Halloween style graphics. Now, if you want to see other videos that talk specifically about print-on-demand along with Kittl, check out these videos here on my right as well as this playlist. I know you're going to enjoy those. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe again if you haven't already. And until the next one, create magic.